Hello indie game fans, big week of new releases, although I was a little more stringent in narrowing down the selection this week, but still plenty of great games and an awesome top 5 in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. A title that I missed out on when talking about the best upcoming games of the month was Orange Cast Sci-Fi space action game, although it could have done without the subtitle. Some of you did mention it in the comments, so here we are with the launch. It's a sci-fi third-person shooter that looks pretty great and comes to us from a Russian developer with unapologetic Russian voice acting, so that's very cool. The UI is in English with subtitles as well, so Western audiences do not be afraid, where you play as an elite space trooper adventuring through the galaxy. Little bit of a Mass Effect meets Gears of War vibe, although not as much of an RPG, but as someone who covers indie games, it always warms my heart to see how truly global this scene is, so it gets a spot. A roguelite RPG title of interest is Home Behind 2, set in a country engulfed by civil war, where you control a group of revolutionaries struggling to overthrow an authoritarian regime. Evidently, it's very Darkest Dungeon-like in nature, with the 4 character parties and positional combat, although combat is real-time with pause, and one might even point towards Warsaw as an inspiration. There are 36 job classes for your fighters, a home base to upgrade which unlocks further research options, and even vehicle combat sequences as you travel from area to area. While it will be releasing in early access, supposedly the main story is intact, only lacking in side missions and more content, but a curiosity for sure. Local multiplayer games can be fun, but more often than not, tend to use that top-down, overcooked-like camera angle, so Jumpala was a nice change of pace. It's a number-counting action puzzle game where jumping on tiles turns them your colour, and a certain number of jumps will cause it to fall and net you the points, but the individual characters have special abilities that can change the tide of competition. Neat and simple with nice pixel art, it definitely looks like fun with friends. I told you folks that I do love my first-person puzzle games, and one which got my attention is Frame of Mind, using just 2 colours to great effect. This reminds me of Antechamber, in that you're in a world which defies logic, so non-Euclidean spaces and all that, or this world is crazy, but the colour scheme in particular makes it stand out. I believe that this should be a free title, so no harm checking it out, and hopefully it doesn't give you too much of a headache.
Today, we fight for our Genesis brothers and sisters. Today, we stand as the last shred of humanity. Today, we will win or die for the sake of our own freedom.
Redout from 2016 was a very fast-paced, futuristic racer, paying tribute to games like F-Zero and Wipeout, where the developers have wrangled that technology into making Redout Space Assault, an arcade shooter that looks just as good. I'll be honest, space games are usually not my thing, specifically if the controls are super wonky, but this does look to be of interest. Playing as a member of a security corporation, take out rebels and pirates as you protect the colonization of Mars. Impressive looking visuals and great looking action seals the deal, making it a no-brainer for the week. Since some of you were rightfully confused about bigger games this week, I've decided to take it out, so we go straight into smaller games and ports of the week, beginning with Adverse. It's a first-person platformer where you wield a bow, having to fire at targets while traversing through the landscape. First-person platforming is very tricky to get right, so I do hope it feels great, although the low-poly visuals are calming and this looks pretty alright. Balancelot gets ported to Xbox and Switch, and is a frustration platformer where you play as a squire on a unicycle. I enjoyed this on PC, with the neat medieval art style and gameplay that would be familiar to fans of Getting Over It, so pick this up if you have not.
You're a wraith looking for salvation by killing demons for heaven. She's the saddest girl in the world, cursed to become the Doom Bringer. She wants you to kill her, but she is unkillable, and you are a total slacker.
I do have to give a very special shout out to Doom and Gloom, coming to us from a Singaporean developer, and it's a visual novel with an interesting art style. Not really my type of game, but wishing him all the best.
But will you choose to save the world? Or will you choose to save her soul? The good, the bad, and the indifferent.
Many of you will be happy to hear that the excellent action-adventure RPG platformer Phoenotopia Awakening launches on Steam this week, having previously been a Switch exclusive and was well received. This is totally my type of game, even more so with the sweet pixel art, so no-brainer entry, and I encourage you to check it out. Another previous console exclusive comes to Steam with Rain City, a point-and-click adventure game with anthropomorphic animals set basically in the world of Weathering with You, where it rains all year round in the city. You're searching for your missing sister, but this looks like a very classically designed entry that looks fantastic.
A struggle as old as humanity itself. An endless battle of minds and bodies, raging inside every one of us. The mightiest fall, betrayed by the base needs of their fragile vessels. But not me. My mind is a weapon. My body, an instrument honed to perfection. I will prevail.
Man, you are such a drama queen.
The ninja beat-em-up Shing gets ported to Xbox and Switch this week, and was a fun entry that I liked, so it comes recommended as well. SuchArt Creative Space is the free prologue of an upcoming title, where you're free to create using whatever canvas and tools that you like. It's a freeform title, so the sky is the limit, so check out if the tools are fun, and if so, wishlist the full game.
Adventure awaits on a musical score, with mamas, piranhas, head dramas, and more. Go 8-bit, be moonlit, or swing by the store. It's all in Tadpole Treble Encore for Nintendo Switch.
Tadpole Treble Encore is an interesting entry since it's an enhanced remake of a game from 2016 which was released on Steam and Wii U. Well received and pretty neat, with this new version adding developer commentary, a new stage and new unlockables, and is not to be missed.
Musical adventure is swimming to Nintendo Switch, and it's coming with new unlockables, portable play, and a brand new stage! Looks even better than before! Super high definition! There's songs full of singing and lyrics to match, and creatures that happen to think you're a catch. Play stages, compete, or create them from scratch. If you want something quirky and new, it's true, then Tadpole Treble Encore's for you. Bop-a-widdy-boop.
The Shadow U looks like an interesting adventure exploration title which does have some spooky overtones, adding horror and visual novel elements, and seems well made. The Unexpected Quest was a neat city builder RTS title that released on Steam last year in November and gets a Switch port this week. Nothing mind-blowing but very pleasant, certainly give this a shot. Tiny Lens is a Spot the Difference title by using low poly art and being in 3D, which is something different and seems pleasant. Unspottable is a local multiplayer title where players need to camouflage and try to blend in with the AI, and is another great party game with friends.
Oh my gosh, this is so real! This game is already real!
Very short trailer for Watch Me Stream My Mental Breakdown, but as a narrative deck builder, which hits just a little too close to home for content creators. The other space shooter of interest is Everspace 2, where the original from 2017 has been tremendously well received, with over 7,000 Steam reviews, so of course the sequel is of interest. The visuals have always been fantastic, and while the original was more of a roguelite in structure, this game looks to be more of an open world entry where you're flying between planets, exploring a story campaign and taking on side missions. Like I said, not usually my genre, but this game might just convince me to take the plunge. Very happy to share that the Factory Builder Dyson Sphere program enters early access this week, having been on my watchlist since last year and simply looks fantastic. While there will of course be elements from Factorial in this, you are instead building a galaxy-spanning factory as you build towards a Dyson Sphere, increasing the scale and scope of everything, which is impressive. A Early access is planned for a year, although it is supposed to be fully playable at launch, so a no-brainer title if you love this subgenre. I do love my Metroidvania games, so of course, Ender Lily's Quietest of the Nights gets a spot. A hauntingly beautiful entry with some elements that are a little different and looks interesting. For example, our heroine does not directly attack, instead relying on fallen knights as party members who appear to spawn out of thin air. This abstraction may be unintuitive since there may be some lag to the animation, but I'm thrilled to see something a little different in this space. Gorgeous looking art and environments with challenging bosses makes it a no-brainer, although it follows a strange trend for this genre, releasing in early access. There are supposed to be 3 out of 8 areas at launch, but even if you do not pick this up immediately, certainly one to keep an eye on. Another no-brainer title for the week is Ocean's Heart, a very Zelda-like action-adventure game which looks wonderful. It does have a great narrated trailer, so I'll leave you to it, and I'll be back in a little bit to give my thoughts.
That's me, Tilia. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, first off, this is a game, so you can't hold me entirely liable for my actions. You're part of this too, you know. The short version is, my dad left our hometown to hunt pirates a while back, and now I'm trying to find him and figure out what went wrong. I followed his trail, I sailed across the sea, explored a vast wilderness, unraveled pirate conspiracies, discovered powerful magical artifacts, and also attended a birthday party for a dog, which had more to do with pirates and thieves than you'd think. So now I'm exploring the world, learning to wield various weapons, and I even use magic. I'm racking my brain solving puzzles in ancient dungeons and brewing potions to help me survive tough fights, like the one where I started talking to you. As much as I want to find my dad, this game is full of side quests and hidden locations that we're going to be distracted by. Leaving the main path often leads to huge areas, where we can spend an hour exploring, finding upgrades to my weapons, beating dungeons, or fighting this dude. And as much as I'd like the side quests to be simple and straightforward, they always end up complicated and twisty. You go in just hoping to make a few crowns by helping out the town guard, and you end up stopping our theft. And the secrets of this world? That's a whole separate thing to explore, which again is going to sidetrack me from finding my dad. But this game is full of them, and I can't stop you from trying to find them all. So how did I get into this situation? By going on a big adventure. As we go through this together, I might join a tic-tac-toe championship or impersonate a piano tuner, break 1,000-year-old curses. It'll be lots of fun, so I hope you join me soon.
This genre is one of the most nostalgic for many, myself included, so to see an indie title like this nail what they are going for warms my heart. This developer is also known for the 2D Bloodborne remake Beyond Town, so perhaps hunt that down as well to tide you over until this is released. We end off with the 1.0 release of Skull the Hero Slayer, a pixel art roguelike platformer that has shown up a number of times on the channel so far, with this release being a very good sign for roguelites in 2021. The gimmick is that our lowly skeleton warrior gains a number of powerful abilities by equipping new skulls, transforming into a Death Knight, Samurai, Archer, Grim Reaper and more, all with great feeling combat and excellent looks. More skulls, more enemies, and the final chapter will be added with the full release, so get in on this if you have not already, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.